Welcome to Sin Sight Crime, where we explore the darkest and most intriguing true crime stories. In today's episode, we dive deep into the tragic and haunting case of Kitty Genovese. Join us as we uncover the shocking details and the nationwide outrage that followed. Stay tuned till the end for an unforgettable journey into the heart of this true crime mystery. March 13, 1964, New York City. It was a cold, lonely night. The streets of Queens lay silent under the faint glow of distant streetlights. Kitty Genovese, a 28-year-old woman, was driving home from her job at a bar. She parked her car in the lot, just steps away from her apartment. She walked briskly, clutching her jacket tighter against the cold breeze. This neighborhood was familiar. Safe, or so she thought. But lurking in the shadows was a man who had been following her, watching her, a presence she didn't notice until it was too late. Within seconds, Kitty's life would be thrown into a nightmare. And this night would spark a national outrage, a moment that would change how America thought about crime forever. Kitty Genovese never saw him coming. At exactly 3:15 a.m., Winston Moseley stepped out of the shadows and rushed toward her. He was a quiet, soft-spoken man, married with children, the kind of person no one would suspect. But that night he had murder in his eyes. Kitty screamed, "Help me!" Her cry echoed through the apartment windows above. A light flicked on. A man opened his window. He looked down, saw the struggle, and then closed the blinds. The lights turned off again. Moseley panicked. He fled into the darkness, leaving Kitty bleeding and gasping for air. She tried to crawl toward her apartment, dragging herself across the pavement. 10 minutes passed, no one came. Kitty lay bleeding, alone in the dark. She could still move, barely. She pulled herself to the foot of the stairs leading to her building's entrance. She whispered, "Help, please." Lights came on again. Another window opened. Footsteps were heard, and then silence. Winston Moseley had returned. He couldn't believe no one had come to help her. This gave him confidence. He approached Kitty again, calmly this time. She saw him and cried out one last time, "Please, I'm dying." But no one stopped him. Moseley stabbed her again, this time fatally. Then, as if nothing had happened, he walked away, disappearing into the early morning shadows. It would be over an hour before someone finally called the police. But by then, Kitty Genovese was gone. March 13th, 1964. Morning news of the murder hadn't spread yet. The street looked the same, but something irreversible had happened. Police arrived. They questioned neighbors. Most said they heard something, a scream, a cry, but thought it was just a lover's quarrel, or maybe someone drunk. No one had come down to help. No one had called. Not until it was far too late. The detectives couldn't believe it. How could dozens of people hear Kitty's cries and do nothing? One neighbor finally confessed, "I didn't want to get involved." A few days later, the story broke in the New York Times. 37 who saw murder didn't call the police. The headline screamed. America was shocked. Talk shows, newspapers, and dinner tables buzzed with one question: how could this happen? Psychologists called it the bystander effect. The idea that the more people witness something, the less likely anyone is to act. It wasn't just about Kitty anymore. It was about all of us. The nation looked in the mirror and didn't like what it saw. Winston Moseley was caught within a week. He confessed, not just to Kitty's murder, but to other violent crimes. In court, he showed no remorse. Kitty's family sat in silence. Her brother Vincent would later say, It wasn't just Winston that failed her. It was all of us. The trial was swift. Mosley was sentenced to life in prison. But the true impact of Kitty Genovese's death went beyond the courtroom. Her case sparked change. The creation of 911 emergency lines. Awareness campaigns about public responsibility. New laws encouraging people to act. Kitty's voice had been silenced, but her story had become louder than ever. Decades have passed, but Kitty Genovese's name is still remembered, not just as a victim, but as a symbol. Her story is taught in psychology classes, referenced in documentaries, books, and films. A case that shook a nation and forced it to ask hard questions. Would you have helped? Would you have called? Would we have done better? Kitty never got to tell her story, but by telling it now, loudly, honestly, we make sure her voice echoes across time. She was more than a statistic. She was a daughter, a friend, a life that mattered, and we remember her. Thank you for watching. If you found this video compelling, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Insight Crime. Let us know your thoughts on the case in the comments below. We'll be back soon with more gripping true crime stories. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.